Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Well, guess who is back because we only get not only one but two of maybe maybe the most interesting or maybe as some would say the most explosive men in this sport currently. Two men that always seem to be in each other's paths and we'll have to see what else they're up to tonight because I have no doubt that these guys are going to have a lot to say, especially the man up at top. First of all, yes, a man, fellow operatives, that means no introduction. He needs no introduction because he is the tailor that we want on Sportswire Radio. He is, of course, the host of the Nemesis Sessions. He is the owner of the PWF. He's only got 106,000 followers between TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Maybe he'll have another 1,000, maybe another 2,000 after tonight. He is none other than the legendary Nemesis James Taylor, then the man that he is living the high life. I mean, he is definitely a name that he might be the most well-known name out there, maybe in this sport. I mean, he doesn't even have to wrestle, but he actually has a match that maybe we'll watch it on the air recently. Maybe we'll watch a match with a guy that he wrestled once in XCW, maybe Extreme King, maybe it was a different XCW show, but we'll definitely talk about that. He was, of course, the former XCW New Age champion, among many other championships that he has run and held. And certainly he is once the man they called Diablo, but maybe forever, according to some, he is Diablo. But now we just call him the real deal Anthony Steele. And looking at the private chat here between the three of us, there are some things that even we can't say here on Sportswire Radio. But certainly I am going to say formally because everybody is waiting for you guys and everybody's waiting for me to do it. So let's get right to it and give you guys that introduction, even though my voice doesn't want to do it. But at this point, because it is Anthony Steele and James Taylor is already a Hall of Famer. Anthony Steele is going to join the Hall of Fame. Although I feel like I've been talking about you in the Hall of Fame for weeks now because you've been on Sportswire Radio so many times. I think you've been on Sportswire the last 2 weeks more than Omen Black has. It's after all Omen Black's show. So you know what? Maybe
it's my show now.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe we should call it, instead of Sportswire Radio, maybe we should call it Anthony Steele Radio. But I don't want to get everybody out there upset, even as they're further already upset on Sportswire Radio. So let's give you, gentlemen, the introduction that you deserve because all wrestling matters here on Sportswire Radio. We always give a voice to everybody here on Sportswire Radio. So let's get right to it. So with that, wait for it. Further here on the Sports Report. Number one. Global Sports Show. The legendary Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer, host of the Nemesis Sessions, the owner of the PWF Operatives, give a resounding introduction to the Nemesis, James Taylor, and the man that was once called Diablo, but maybe to some in the world of wrestling, he is Diablo. But we just call him, as most people do, the real deal Anthony Steele. Fellas, how are you?
I'm good. I actually got something to show James. James, I can be like you now, man. Let me mimic Stone Cold a little bit. Look what I just got. Look what I. Y'all see that? Look at it. Gorgeous.
Commemorative title.
Hey,
how did you get that champion?
You know the real deal. You know the real deal got the real scoop, boy. What you talking about, man? Ain't no commemorative.
So funny story. I got that title last year, and I've always showed it. It's on my TikTok, it's on my YouTube, where I'm holding it, I'm sporting it, doing some promos. He's like, James, what can I do to get that belt from you? What can I do to get that belt from you? I said, I don't know. We'll have to find out. And then he just recently got him one. So congratulations, Anthony. You finally joined the big boy club.
I look, man.
Anthony joined the big boy club finally. Have you lived under a rock the last?
Yeah, that's
6
what I'm
days?
saying, James. Man,
No. He joined the big boy club and actually getting a real title. He's always been having these little knockoff titles. Show him the other title you got, Anthony. Show him the other little title you got. It looks good. I'll give him that.
Hold on.
It looks good, Tom.
If we're going through that, Alexa, light on.
Oh my lord.
I have to do that because I have to put on like 8 lights before I come on the air, and then lights added in a few weeks.
We can do that one. We can do that one.
That's my favorite championship, but the only thing is, as great as that looks, it's not the authentic one.
I mean, hold on, James.
I'm holding on, Anthony. We only got a little bit of time on this show.
No, it's Anthony Steele. I'm sure the whole world is like, oh, Anthony Steele's on YouTube. Got to run over to YouTube now. So I'm sure people are just starting to tune in. So, it's fine.
What about this one, James?
The one from Amazon?
You okay with this?
What's wrong with Amazon? I have like $1,000 in Amazon gift card money.
Maybe you. How about this? How about this one? Is this one okay?
Is that one from Amazon too?
Is this one okay? Is this? I don't know. No. How about James? I know what you like. You like originality, right?
Yeah.
Originality.
Hook me up, brother.
So why don't we just do the Anthony Steele Championship?
There you go. I like that.
Logos of the side plays, everything. Originality. But
you doing all right tonight?
I'm great. I mean, I'm live on a Sunday, and I'm here once again. So yeah, I'm great. Why?
Me and Anthony should get together and create something for you, Tom. Because you've done such a great job. I think we should put our minds together.
I have the James Taylor shirt.
You look at that. Look at that, Anthony. He don't have no Anthony Steele shirt on.
Not yet.
Yet. Which, later on tonight, I'll plug my new store that I just.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm gonna make sure I get my shirt because at this point, I've even got a foundation shirt. I mean, you guys saw it on Thursday. I've even got a foundation shirt now.
Hey, look, mine. Hey, James, I heard what you said. Mine has a front and a back.
James has a back on his. He has a back.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like he was talking about, he's got a front, he's got a back. Anthony Steele's got to be.
We all love a good back. I mean, but for different show though.
But another good thing before we go on and start, James, my Valentine's Day gift from my girl finally came in today.
Wait, Valentine's Day. Today's March 17th. It's
we pre-ordered it. We pre-ordered it in January.
Wait. It's St.
About
Patrick's
a month and
Day.
a half. Yeah, it's St. Patty's Day, and yesterday was 3/16 Day. By the way. Oh hell yeah!
Well, how many Stone Cold beers did you have yesterday?
I had maybe 3.
That's not bad. I would have thought like 6, but okay.
Yeah,
right.
Because everybody wants to say I'm a Stone Cold knockoff. You know what? Kiss my ass.
Hey,
double birds. That's not me telling you you're number 1 or number 2. It's literally to every hater out there. Keep hating me. I love you for it. Keep hating me because you're just helping me out. So thank you.
I've had a lot of people talk to me about you in the last few days.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that. What, Anthony? Damn.
And the best part about it is you didn't even finish it off with a Bloody Mary.
No, you see, I don't really like Bloody Marys. I tried it, and it was just like, I can't get into it. I mean, the celery's good, but.
But, nah. So we pre-ordered it in January. I was hyped for it. And I think it looks fucking great. But we got the Cody Rhodes torn pectoral pop.
Oh, shit. Okay. I saw that on WWE Shop. I was thinking about getting it, but.
And, dude, GameStop takes so fucking long. Dude, you can have a whole kid by the time it gets sent into there. Like,
don't you live near a GameStop? Can't you go to a GameStop? Like, do you have a mall?
It was a pre-order. So basically, stuff like this, you have to pre-order it because they don't buy it in bulk. Because they don't know how it's going to sell.
Gotcha.
So I pre-ordered it, and it was the only one there. Like, I was the only one that pre-ordered it, and the other girl, a girl that works there, was like, she was like, I saw that it was on our pre-order list, but she's like, I didn't know someone already bought it, and I was like, dude, I was the one that bought it. So I sat there for like 5 minutes talking like mania that's about to happen, everything. So it was. I've had a good day. Went on a shopping spree. Took the fiance out for a date night.
Oh, you did.
Got,
What did you guys do for the day? I'm not so worried about what you think in the wrestling world the last few days. What did you do with the missus, your better half, for the date?
so we went to a Chinese buffet.
Okay.
Ate a bunch of food.
Okay.
Then we went to Target, walked around, walked those calories off because we can't be fat up in here. And
Okay.
then after that, we went to a couple game exchanges, a couple Plato's Closets, look at some shoes, look at some games, look at some figures.
Well, you always got to have your shoes. You got to always have your Jordans. You're always rocking those
hold
Jordans
on.
in the ring.
Just. So I found. Okay, so story about these before I show them.
Yes.
Me and my brother, we used to own this exact same pair when we were like teenagers.
Oh.
And never thought I'd see another pair a day in my life. But I got them. LeBrons, some old school LeBrons. So
I've only owned 2 Jordans in my life. I owned about 6 years ago. I owned a pair of cement Jordans, and then I owned just a kind of basically no frill black and white Jordans. Literally no frill. Yeah, that was it. Other than that, I haven't owned Nikes other than those 2 pairs. And I kept the cements in really like almost perfect condition. I had them for like a year. I would only wear them when I went to like a sporting event or something. And then for whatever reason, I couldn't find him. I don't know. My mother must have threw him out. I have no idea.
Well, and then where I Plato's Closet, so they have like loose figures and like box figures. So I was checking out their loose figures, seeing what they got, because sometimes they really got some good snags for cheap. So I found a pop of the dude that inspired my character originally, and I picked him up. So I picked up Diablo.
Oh, well, I think there's a lot of people in the yard and elsewhere in the world of wrestling that would certainly say that you are Diablo again, and that you should be banned from wrestling promotions and wrestling places. But obviously that's there.
The way I look at it,
have you been banned by any companies, by the way? As far as I know, I don't think you've been banned.
and Resurrection. But
What's
about it?
Okay, but XCW never banned you. That's my point. I mean,
last year they invited me to their Rumble and their Summer Mania.
Yeah, I never heard Fletch really say anything that said, "Oh, So I mean, look. In terms of most places, there's still a lot of places for you to wrestle. So that's just wanted to make sure. There's still plenty of places, plenty of fishes in the water, plenty of fishes in the sea. And, I do want to say hello to some people before I get to James Taylor, who's probably getting ready for another PWF session. I want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Hillbilly Tilly. Of course, Hillbilly is the general manager for the Alliance Wrestling League. Howdy, Tom and James. Hope you all had a good weekend. Well, my weekend was pretty much, tried to get sleep, was on Sportswire 3 times, as I always am. And I worked. So, kind of every other day on Sportswire. I tuned in when you had Mr. Steele on the show. Okay, I'm waiting for the Punchline Tuesday. And I have to say it was very entertaining. A very entertaining show, to say the least. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I've heard. I don't know what I want to say or not say on the air, but I've heard that most people thought it was an interesting show.
I've got messages that it was the best.
I've gotten messages from people, a lot of people from a lot of different places. I want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. C Money, who I don't know why I haven't had C Money from ROEW on Sportswire. Somebody actually messaged me and said that I should have from ROEW C Money. So C Money is one of the few people that I haven't had on Sportswire yet. He says I should run for president. No, I'm not running for president, but thank you, though. I'll run for president of Sportswire Radio. Maybe I could win that. Maybe I could win the Sportswire Radio presidency. Maybe I could win that. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your great work. You've had some great matches with Jack Delta. He had a match with his brother, CJ Black, the good guy, over at the IMF's not most recent show, but the one that took place King of the Center. My buddy Ron Franklin. Ron is kind of an analyst with us on the Friday night show. Says, "Hey, Tom," and also he meant to say, "Hey, Anthony and James," but give a pass to Mr. Ron. But what Austin Tyler? He says, "What up, Steele? What up, Anthony Steele?" Okay.
No, don't.
Okay. All right. If you do, you don't. It doesn't make a difference because they say hi, and what's on your mind, James? You've been kind of quiet there. You've been kind of waiting in the shadows there. Yeah. Before we get into maybe some things I'm gonna get into, obviously maybe some matches of you guys most recently.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you said some people have been talking about me. That's what I was waiting on. I didn't want to interrupt you. You were talking.
No. Listen, you're James Taylor. I mean, you're the nemesis. I mean, after all, I mean, you're a Hall of Famer. I mean, you were our 2023 Personality of the Year. I mean, so you've obviously shown that people want to hear from you. I even said we turned down Taylor Swift after the Super Bowl to induct you in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame because, after all, I mean, you know,
who wants to see Taylor Swift? I mean, come on, she's overrated in my opinion.
Well, you know, Mandy Rose, I don't want to get into this, but Mandy Rose basically called Taylor Swift mid. I mean, if you believe in Mandy Rose.
I believe in her. Yeah, she's I believe in her wholeheartedly. Anyway, so Anthony's little transparent background like it's supposed to mean something.
Real heel. Are you copying Omen Black? Because Omen always has a background now.
He's copying my colors though. So
yeah.
I've been repping black, white, and red for years. Those are my colors, homie.
And I've been doing it since before you were born, homie. So
hey, look, listen.
So technically, you're welcome.
Your career
what can I say?
Your career was forgotten. Brought you back. Let that be.
I guess you deserve it since you brought me back.
Yeah. These are my
Again, what does The Rock say? Come on, what's The Rock say? What can I say except you're welcome?
No. Are you going to sing for us on James Taylor? Are you going to sing for us now on Sundays?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at singing. I mean, I can sing whatever you want.
Are you going to, now when Anthony, now I expect the world to be here with us next Sunday when Anthony gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. All the people are going to come out of the woodworks like they did on Tuesday's show. But I'm assuming you're going to appear on Sunday's show to obviously see that special day for Anthony Steele to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Are you going to sing for Anthony when he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame? Or
if that's what he wants me to do, I will. Now, unless he's going to be like all these other people, like, I don't want such and such to come onto the show because this is about me. I don't want you to try and take the spotlight from me. I don't think Anthony's like that, but there's other people that I know that are like that. And that, to me, that's stupid. See, when it's my show and I'm on here, Tom, because I'm the head talent here, whether anybody likes it or not.
You are the man with the biggest problem. Yeah.
Yeah, tough shit if they don't like it. But I don't give a damn if anybody wants to step foot on here, if anybody wants to come in here while I'm in here, because I'll out trash talk them, I'll talk them down, and I'll make them leave because I don't give a damn.
But we were talking about next Sunday, though, when Anthony gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. We're not expecting to be trash talking. We're expecting.
No. I'm trying to make a point.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I thought we were celebrating Anthony next Sunday.
We're going to celebrate Anthony. But what I'm trying to do when I'm making the point is saying that I'm making a point to what other people have said over the past few days.
There's a lot of people that have said a lot of things for sure. There's been,
we got people on. You had people on there trying to trash talk each other, and to me, it was kind of funny. And then I'm like, hey, let me come on there just for like a few minutes. And they're like, I don't think they need you on there. We don't need you on there. Okay, I got you.
Hey, you came on Thursday. I mean, Soldier and Omen, Soldier at first was like, well, I don't know. But then you guys came on Thursday. Soldier and Omen were good sports. You have to give them that.
James.
What, Anthony? I'm talking here. I don't give a fuck. Respect your elders, kid. Shit.
So, I heard the best diss of all time on Tuesday night, though.
Okay. Oh God.
I did. When he commented MILF dater, that was the best insult I've ever heard in my life. MILF dater, man. It really got to me.
Yeah. How did the missus feel about that?
It hit deep,
How did she feel about it, though?
Oh, she laughed her ass off. It was
going on 2 years now, isn't it?
A year and a half, yeah. About 2 years. In August, it'll be 2 years.
That's just the start. Wait, when you get past 5 or 6, then you're locked in. I promise you.
Now, next Sunday, I mean, we could see a lot of Hall of Famers from Sportswire pop up and say hello. I mean, I'm sure Omen and Soldier are going to be here next Sunday. You know that they're going to certainly want to christen you. I mean, there's Coach Chris Craven. I mean, I'm sure he would love to christen you into the Hall of Fame. And there's a lot of people, I'm sure, that, would love to, say hello to you if you want them to say, hey, and it's a big week. I mean, because you're going into the Hall of Fame, and apparently Mr. Titan's going in on Thursday as well. So we've got some big names in the scene that they're going into the Hall of Fame. We've got some big big names here. Tommy the Man Merriman, by the way, Anthony, who you worked with in XCW, he's coming here Thursday night. He's actually going to be here Thursday night. And Mr. Merriman's got a lot to say. Mr. Merriman also recently defeated a man that we're going to talk about later on tonight. A man you wrestled, a good friend of yours in XCW, DJ Walbert. So Tommy the Man Merriman is finally coming to Sportswire Radio. We kind of basically said, you know what? We're going to actually bring you on, despite what some might say in XCW about having Tommy Merriman on. We actually said, you know what, Tommy, do you want to come on Sportswire? Because you've been wanting to come on. We're like, yeah, all right, we're going to do it. So Tommy the Man Merriman's here. And then Mr. Titan's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Anthony, you're going to be inducted on Sunday. So, I mean, I'm sure for your show, it's going to be, really celebratory. And, Omen and Soldier are going to, I'm sure, be here.
Oh, I'm going to wear a nice suit. I'm gonna get dressed up for the event.
Well, I will actually tell you, I don't do it because all I do is wear wrestling shirts. But when I inducted RP Davis, the natural born fighter, I put on a sport jacket and I'm like, you know what? It's not me. And I took it off and put on a wrestling shirt afterwards. So if you want to dress up,
James,
it's up to you.
Should I give him a sneak peek?
No sneak peeks. No sneak peeks. We want to see everything when it happens. We don't like that on Sportswire. We don't want spoilers. I always tell people, it's funny. People off the air say, Tom, do you want to know the results? I'm like, no, because we'll do it organically. Because we're always about all wrestling matters and always let it happen. It's like if you go to the movies, you don't want to know the outcome of the movie. You want to watch it as it comes. So that's why we'll say, Anthony, we have next Sunday. And by the way, you got the jacket on for sure. Yes. Is that the Thriller jacket for Michael Jackson?
You're like the 30th person to say that. But no, this is the.
Did the missus say that? Now, when you were going out, with the missus and you were trying to impress her, did you wear that? And did she say Thriller?
I mean, she loved it. I had a buddy of mine, custom make this for me.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't. That part I didn't say. That part I did not say.
I might if we're gonna call one of my matches, might as well get into character, I should say. So, while James is over there looking like a recently divorced dad, I might as well, play the part.
I didn't know, James, you're a father?
Yeah, with 3 cats.
Dude,
okay.
They lay around like they pay rent or something. Like they need to go get a job.
Well, my guest that came on the show earlier today, Lydia Myers, who's a big deal in professional wrestling right now. I mean, she actually had a match with a woman, Adina Steele, you might have heard of, had 12,000 views on YouTube. And she actually has an Instagram page for her cat. And her cat is actually on her Pro Wrestling T-shirt. I mean, so it's like, it's Zara Lux is her cat. And her cat's actually like a part of the storyline. And it's like a big deal. So, I mean, there are pets out there. And by the way, Ice-T's dog has 42,000 followers on Twitter. So the pets, they have their following. So let's not, sell the pets short at this point. And I actually told a story on the air. I actually rescued 2 pets in my life, actually. So I've actually been a man that has actually, saved the animals in a few different ways, inadvertently. I was inadvertently. So yes, I do different things, but you took your jacket off before. We'll obviously get to some things, but did you want to say something else, Anthony, before I actually want to present something on the screen here in a minute?
Yep. So I've been looking, at your live streams. And
okay. What haven't you liked?
It's not that what I haven't liked. It's
okay.
I've been keeping track. I've been looking at the views, and Tuesday's video streamed 4 days ago is about to surpass your 4th most viewed video live
on YouTube. Yeah. I mean, I have stuff on Facebook out there with like 4,000 views, 3,000 when I was streaming on Facebook. Instagram, I have some stuff with like 10,000 views. I mean, for YouTube purposes, yes, you're right that the YouTube, it's right behind Luke Leyland. It's behind Necro Daddy. And I actually have an intro to when we were the Sports Report on Sportnarium, the British radio station that has like 900 views. So, I mean, it's right up there. So it's definitely one of the more, I think we just passed Brad Coleman's interview. Brad is kind of like the British version of you in kind of wrestling. He's kind of like the British version of you. And it was, he had, I think, like 230 views. And I think Necro Daddy is like you, Luke Leyland, and Necro Daddy. And Luke Leyland had fought in Dombe. He's like a massive big deal right now.
It goes Luke Leyland a year ago at 1.3K.
He is a massive deal.
Then Luke Leyland 2 months ago at 292.
That's about right.
Then Necro Daddy at 290. Then Soldier GP and Owen Black, which I appeared on that episode. Streamed 2 months ago at 276, and then there's me 4 days ago at 246 views.
Right. You passed Brad Coleman, who was number 4. Brad Coleman.
Like I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at it and I'm like, for all these people that continuously run their mouth. Well, I can't really say all these people. They're like,
no, there was people that I think that listen. When you talk about that many views, there were people that liked it, and there were people that liked it, people that didn't like it, people that watched and had their own views. I mean, I think that everybody falls in different circles of it.
I just look at it as this, if my career, I'm just gonna say, if my career was done, James, and I'm gonna ask this from James, the over 40K subscribers, man. If my career's done, how am I getting all those views, James?
I don't know. It's the damnedest thing.
I swear.
Same thing. If I'm a stone cold knockoff and I really don't know what I'm doing in the ring and don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, then why do I have over 110,000 followers?
Oh, it's 110,000 now. I lost count.
No, you should. I'm just saying. But we don't know what we're talking about, Tom. But you do, and you appreciate us, and we respect that. And we thank you.
Well, I think that on Sportswire, and I will continue to say it, you guys will always have a voice here on this platform. We give everybody a chance to speak. And before Anthony gets to his call, I actually want to give people a thank you for a second because I want to present this here on the screen for those that are listening and watching and will watch on Sportswire Radio, because Sportswire Radio actually just surpassed 600 subscribers on YouTube, and that's a big accomplishment. The reason it is because I hit 500 subscribers at the end of January, which was great, but I did this in the middle of March, so my count is that we had over 100 subscribers just in the last 7 weeks alone. It took me to get to 300 to 500. We actually counted it, 5.5 months. So I only got 200 subscribers in 5.5 months added. But just in 7 weeks, I already went from 500 to 600. And guess what? We're actually past 600 now. So we're actually 3 over that. So it tells you that for whatever reasons, yes, there's the shows with Anthony Steele, but there's also shows with Luke Leyland that got hundreds of views. Shows with Brad Coleman, shows with James Taylor. James Taylor's in the top 10 or top 12 in that list. There's also Coach Paige Palazzolo, who celebrated her birthday today, the head coach of the United States women's amputee soccer team. She's up there. She's at 140 something. There's all different types of things for people. Listen, Jack Delta was here. We had Jack Delta Day. Jack had over 100 plus views. Listen, there's a lot of things for a lot of people in sports, but the facts is that people are tuning in. And you know what? Alan Michaels and Shane Davidson, their aliases were here last Friday, and they had my most viewed non-wrestling and just regular sports show on Friday nights in just about a year. You could maybe give them credit because they worked in TBW too. So they got me 100-something plus views. But the facts is that I just wanted to thank people because it doesn't matter where you fall on these different interviews or whether you like different people or not. You're coming to Sportswire. You're tuning in because we give people everything. We had Lydia Myers just before, who was the first ever women's wrestler signed by Amplified Wrestling, the first women's champion enterprise. She's actually a champion, almost a world champion, just for men and women. She was here with us tonight. Had a match with Adina Steele, who's a massive deal in women's wrestling. Got 12,000 views on YouTube. She's really one of the most well-known and respected wrestlers, male or female, across the Northeast. She was here with us. I mean, we've got Van Hansen next week, and the owner of Amplified Wrestling. I mean, we've got pretty much everybody that's coming on Sportswire. But the facts is that I just wanted to say thank you because, again, that's what it's about. All wrestling matters. All sports matters. And I'm also a 2-time rising digital creator on Facebook. So I just wanted to put those things out there. So I'll take it off the screen. But, I just wanted to say my thank you. So before we get into some of the matches here, I mean, did you guys have anything else you wanted to say? Because people seem to be quiet. Maybe people are they're waiting for next Sunday. Maybe they're tired out of Anthony Steele. Maybe they're just tired of what he had to say on Tuesday's show.
Well, I was curious what you were going to say about, you said some people have been talking about me the past few days.
I've heard people say good. I've heard some people say, James Taylor and, I don't know, James Taylor and, I don't think we'll be seeing him and he won't travel. I've heard, I would love to see James Taylor in the ring, but, Would he travel? I've heard people tell me that. Would James Taylor travel? That's one of the things that people have told me off the air. James Taylor. Do you think we'll see him in the ring again? That's what people have been asking me left and right over the past several days. Yes, they saw you on Sportswire with Anthony. Yes, there's no question that, Anthony speaks for himself. I don't think people looked at what you said as a lot differently than Anthony, but there is a lot of speculation from people that said, are you done?
No, I'm not done. Far from done. I got a little bit left in the tank, trust me. And it's just a matter of finding the right moment to. As far as traveling, it's got to be worth my while.
I know it's tough. I've
been offered many matches, but why go so far to these places just to? I mean, it be meaningless. I don't want to just be that guy that's. I mean, everybody's different. I'm not that guy to go into 18 different companies.
It's actually fair because we had Lydia Myers on earlier today. Like I said, Lydia Myers is a very big deal. In fact, Lydia Myers, I want to give her another big shout out because she's going to be the first women's wrestler officially inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame next month. And like I said, she has a match with 12,000 views on YouTube. She's actually holds a major championship in her company. And sort of, also in amplified wrestling and enterprise wrestling. She's actually defeated male wrestlers. I mean, she's really respected, and she doesn't travel everywhere. And she's a respected professional wrestler. So this isn't somebody that's in the yard that said, I'm going to wrestle in XCW. I'm going to wrestle in TBW. I'm going to wrestle in WC. No, this is somebody that picks and chooses her spots too. And she's a respected pro wrestler. So it's not just about, you being in the yard. Lydia Myers was saying the same thing. So don't feel too bad. Don't sell yourself short on that.
The number one thing, and it seems like some people in this industry just don't have it, at least in the yard, is patience. It doesn't matter if I say it and it don't happen. I'm not giving no dates. It's just a matter of if it will happen and when it will happen. It's going to happen. And when it does happen, it'll make everybody be like, holy shit, it's happening, and this is the best thing I've ever seen. Trust me, it will be.
Well, I can't wait till it happens, and I want to say hello to my very good friend, who I also have a shirt of, and I also am looking forward to watching him in Versus the World Wrestling, because they're one of my also favorite companies, Mr. Jack Delta. He also wants to say Tom can try to give us any of the credit, but Tom is the one doing these excellent interviews all the goddamn time. We love you, Tom. You deserve every subscriber you get. That's so kind of you. Thank you, Jack, for all of your support, and I'm really looking forward to watching you in VTW, because we have Chase Wakefield coming on in 2 weeks from tomorrow. I'm always looking forward to seeing what Chase Wakefield has to say. We also have Mr. Van Hansen, who works in DBW and is the owner of Amplified Wrestling. He's here next Monday. We've got Tommy the Man Merriman, who Jack Delta worked with. He's here Thursday night before Mr. Titan comes on, and Mr. Hollywood Titan comes on here to be inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. We've got D'Angelo LaFlame, another guy you've worked with, James Taylor, who's going to be here on his birthday Wednesday night. D'Angelo LaFlame, I'm really excited about him. Of course, the Resurrection Boys had their most recent show today on St. Patrick's Day, so we have a lot of great shows coming in. And by the way, Jimmy Controversy, that's right, Jimmy Controversy is coming back to Sportswire Radio. Mr. Pro Wrestling Venom owner, Mr. GTS, Mr. XPW man himself, Mr. Everywhere Jimmy Controversy man, who's also wrestled some guy, Tommy Dreamer. And he, by the way, is a big fan of mine. He talks to me all the time, Jimmy, and he's a good friend, and that's certainly what counts. But thank you, Jack, for your support. And I'm looking forward to seeing you back on Sportswire soon. But also, I want to give a shout out to one of my guys from the Friday Sports team that's also friends with the guy that you used to kind of work with, that used to look like, or maybe was Alan Michaels, Mr. now Sad Boy, but Mr. Scooby Stoney. Scooby, by the way, just did an awesome movie review on his YouTube channel, Scooby Stoney, where he basically said his favorite movies of all time, what they were. And he is now a part of the Friday Sports team, which the Friday shows are at 10 o'clock Eastern time, where we talk about all things related in the world of sports. And he says, nice work, Tom. Well, you're a part of it, Scooby, because you're on the team. So thank you for your support. And a man that we're going to be inducting in the Sportswire Hall of Fame also in a few weeks. I'm going to say maybe before the IMF comes on April 5th, maybe April 4th, we'll get a chance to induct Mr. Dirty himself. So Dirty, you might want to circle that calendar on April 4th, because that's going to be the day that you go into the Hall of Fame. But until then, he kind of laughs at you, Mr. Taylor, because about you traveling. I think that's really what it was about, more or less. You and traveling, and you know how that goes. You and Soldier and Omen, you know. Although you did say on Tuesday's show, or no, Thursday's show, that you actually helped discover the IMF, in your words.
Well, I mean, if anybody really wanted to look at the facts, all they have to
I
do
remember
is
that last year,
check
the
out.
Nemesis Sessions, they came on twice. I do remember that.
I found them. I reached out to them because I liked their product. I gave them a platform and showed them what I'm doing and told them about what they're doing. And then they went from there. And now look at them. They're doing great.
Oh my God, they're killing it. The IMF is killing it. They're awesome.
I don't get it. I try to compliment them. I say the things I say, but I get the trash talk from them constantly. So
maybe that's just their way of showing their love and support for you.
I doubt it.
But yes, Dirty, I want to induct you April the 4th. I think that April 4th is the perfect date because that'll be right before the IMF show. And I also think that it will be great because we can talk about the card. We can kind of get everybody hyped for WrestleMania weekend, and you can take your place in history in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. I think that'll be 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, Dirty, you're going into the Hall of Fame. You've earned it. And we're going to make sure that all the foundation members get into the Hall of Fame. Because it was 4 up, 4 down or something like that. I think that'll be maybe 5 up, 3 down. But definitely, congratulations. You're going to earn this one. And I can't wait to induct you in the Hall of Fame. And I'm loving that foundation shirt, by the way. Because the foundation shirt, I got to say, it actually fits really good on me. It's an extra large, but it feels like a large. So these guys know what they're doing. But by the way, I love my James Taylor shirt on right now, though. I do love my James Taylor shirt because I do make sure I want to wear that also. So I want to say that. We love Alters. But I got a Jack Delta shirt, too. You know, I pretty much got everybody's shirt at this point. But he did really reach out but never showed. So meaning you never showed, I suppose. But we'll leave it at that because I know that history for a year. But thank you, Dirty, for that. But, James Taylor, I guess maybe it would be a good time because Anthony Steele is a busy man right now. We're actually I wanted to watch his most recent match on Instagram against Bullwhip, but maybe we shouldn't watch that match. But is there a match of yours that, we could watch on Sportswire for the audience? To maybe, do some commentary on, do some play-by-play for, some nemesis like for our operatives. I mean, anything that you would suggest and I could, put on the old screen and, do some play-by-play and get your hard-hitting analysis on?
Hard-hitting analysis of a match of mine?
Yeah, why not?
Why don't you watch an old school, one of my older backyard matches?
Ooh, I like that. We'll definitely do that. Okay, let's wait. And by the way, I also got one more thing before I want to do that. I got more breaking news. You want to talk about people that are going to come on Sportswire Radio? And I promise you, James Taylor, that a lot of people are going to want to tune into this. You'll never guess who's coming on right after night 2 of WrestleMania. When WrestleMania closes out for this year, WrestleMania 40, we are going to have on none other than the one and only standout Xavier Thorne. Xavier Thorne is live on Sportsfire Radio after WrestleMania 40 night 2.
Even never mind. Why would you? Okay. If you need help, please.
No. I think this will be interesting because you know what? Why not? Why not Xavier Thorne? He's back in Resurrection. He had a lot to say yesterday on the show. And you know what? People seem to like these shows. I think they're gonna like and love what Xavier Thorne has to say.
They might. You know what? I had him on my show.
I know that.
I mean, he's a good kid and he's got a lot of passion. I will give him that. Of almost anybody I've ever met in the backyard world, especially the young guys today, he's got a hell of a lot of passion, Tom. But he's in over his head too. He thinks he's really believing in yourself is one thing, but the kid needs to really rethink his strategy before he opens his mouth.
Well, you know what? We're going to certainly find out. Now, I'm going to put this on the screen, and I'm going to take this off the screen. I'm going to bring this on the screen, and give me 1 second because I'm going to actually pull it up. I actually have the share the screen option to put your match up here. So we're going to go on the YouTube channel where you can get a plug where we got to be operatives continue to subscribe to the legendary James Taylor's YouTube page. And guess what? He's now just about nearing 41,000 subscribers. So you want to make sure that you support Mr. Taylor. So let's pull up here some popular videos and let's find a legendary match of the nemesis James Taylor, because I think a lot of people are going to want to see it, and I want to see it because I've watched some of this stuff. But for the audience live on Sportswire Radio, maybe let's go.
Go to playlist. Go back up. Go to playlist.
Okay.
And go to the nemesis matches, which is that.
Now,
yeah, you'll have to pause that.
Yes, I paused it. Oh,
and then, so what you're going to want to do is go down, and I know the perfect match for you to watch. Okay.
Okay.
Tell me. Hold on. Right there. You see the one where it says TWF August 2? Yep, that one. No holds barred match. It's a perfect. It's like only a little bit over 20 minutes, but you could just get right to where, however you want to do it, mute it, and talk as I'm coming out, and do your thing, Tom, and I'm totally 100% on board for it.
All right, before I do anything, before I do that, I want to say hello to one of my buddies also from the Friday night show, Mr. Big T. Mr. Big T has joined us here, and he is obviously alongside a guy that you used to work with that looks like a guy you used to work with, and Mr. Alan Michaels, aka now Sad Boy, but Big T is one of my buddies, and he's following you, by the way, on YouTube, by the way. Big T just gave you a sub on YouTube, so that shows you that we do make sure on Sportswire Radio, we always help those, and he's a part of the team, Big T. Big T is a part of the team, and he's kind of a work colleague of yours officially, because you said you are the best talent on Sportswire, and Big T is one of the bigger talents on Sportswire. So technically, a work colleague of yours actually gave you a sub. But before we go,
Mr. T.
He's a great guy, Big T. Big T, love Big T. Love Big T. But before I get into loving about Big T, I could do that all day, but I want to talk about setting the tables for us here in this match on August 2004 in the TWF. Now, we talked about those wars with Phoenix when we inducted you into the Hall of Fame last month, but set the tables for us here and what we can expect.
So a rivalry has been going on for the past 8 months, actually, since around January, if not actually a year prior to this. Me and Phoenix, which is an old colleague of mine and a really good friend of mine, he's basically a brother, but at this time, we were real bitter enemies. And we were fighting for the TWF World Heavyweight Championship, but he cost me a match about 2 or 3 months before this and challenged me to a no-holds-barred contest. And that means anything goes. We all seen the death matches, but this isn't a super death match. This is just a straight-up hardcore, no-holds-barred style backyard wrestling match the way it's supposed to be, but a story being told. So if you just watch, you're not going to see Phoenix out there. He's already waiting. And I come to the ring. Well, I actually come to the yard, and we just get it on. So I hope you all enjoy this. But this was two guys who really hated each other, and but we also enjoyed telling a story. This isn't just to see who's better at kicking each other's ass. It's more like, what's the story here? The story is these two guys are trying to one-up each other and trying to prove that they're the best. So there it is.
All right, fair enough here. And certainly we're going to do that now. So obviously, for those that are listening and watching, sit back, relax, because I'm going to call this match, and Mr. Taylor is going to give his heart, maybe going and watching a match nearly 20 years old. So I'm really looking forward to it. This is a good suggestion. This is a lot of fun.
So you might want to mute it and you full screen it. And
I have it on full screen. I just put it on full screen.
Perfect. This is almost 20 years old. August this year, this will be a 20-year-old match.
Oh, I can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be good. So ladies and gentlemen, stand by as we watch No Holds Barred TWF August 2004. James Taylor versus Phoenix. It'll be Phoenix like weather outside. Let's get right to it on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting for the entrances of James Taylor and Phoenix, although Mr. Taylor has told us that Phoenix is already waiting for James Taylor. So we are waiting for the nemesis, James Taylor operatives, to come out in the yard. In the words of Mills Lane, let's get it on. We are waiting for these guys to come out and get ready to it. I mean, what a match this is going to be after James Taylor set the tables for us, and what can we expect? And It was kind of bizarre here so far. The first 30 seconds, we were waiting for the guys to come out here in a match. I mean, certainly, what's going on here? I mean, I'm with Big T. I mean, I'm excited because this is a good old fashioned no holds barred match, and Big T looks like he's big enough, James Taylor, that you could square off with him in the yard anytime. And there he is, the legendary Nemesis James Taylor, a teenage-like Nemesis James Taylor who had just turned 20 years old. And by the way, April 25th. Mark that on your calendar because it's going to be James Taylor Day on Sportswire Radio. We're going to be celebrating his birthday all day on Sportswire Radio. He's going to be here live, and we are looking at James Taylor here. And boy, the Nemesis James Taylor, I hope he's not drinking a beer. He's drinking a Coke, hopefully, because he's 20. I don't know, depending on your state, might not be able to have a drink, but he is certainly getting ready. He is waiting for action, and the speed limit is 45 miles per hour for all those punches that he's going to throw at Phoenix. And I cannot wait because, James Taylor, you better finish that drink because he finished it. And there he goes. And wait a minute. Phoenix has got a chair. And did he have crutches also?
Yeah.
But boy, Phoenix, I tell you what, James Taylor is not off to the start that he hoped for. And boy, that crutch hurt. Ladies and gentlemen, that crutch wasn't faking. And is Phoenix going off the ladder? Oh, boy, Jimmy Controversy hasn't even done something like that, ladies and gentlemen, in the yard. And this is getting ugly already. I mean, James Taylor is not off to the start that he wants in that Texas heat. You can see that Texas heat getting to James Taylor early on. And oh, my goodness, that suplex onto it looks like a wooden plank. And James Taylor.
They're metal planks, actually.
Metal planks. And boy, James Taylor's going to be feeling that one even to this day, nearly 20 years later. And I don't even know how the Nemesis got up. And is that some form of, I guess, maybe off a roof, some type of, debris, it looks like. And here we go, seeing Phoenix kicks, maybe some type of inverted knee drop onto James Taylor, an elbow drop that we couldn't see based off the camera. But James Taylor, you could see James Taylor right now is wondering when tomorrow will be because today is certainly hurting.
Like that comment.
and we're certainly looking at James Taylor here. And boy, Taylor's fighting back. Now Taylor is fighting like his life. There is no tomorrow. And Taylor is now getting up onto that metal plank. And it looks like almost a jackhammer here. Boom. Boy, that one, Goldberg wasn't doing that in August 2004 because he got booed out of Madison Square Garden, my hometown, just about 20 years ago today. So Goldberg wasn't doing that, so James Taylor was doing it for those listening and watching on Sportswire Radio. But it looks like here James Taylor's got another suplex there. And boy, you have to wonder, how did that hurt on Phoenix's neck? Because you saw James kind of snap a little bit there. Yeah, it looked like that hurt a little bit. That was definitely, kids, don't try this at home. Maybe even you, Xavier Thorne. Don't try this at home. We'll find out about that from you in 3 weeks from now. But James Taylor doing those punches, those 45-mile-per-hour punches, those legendary punches, kind of the origins of the Nemesis James Taylor here operatives. And this is why you want to follow James Taylor on YouTube at Taft Taylor, because nearly 41,000 subscribers. And is he about, and now he kind of inverted hit drop toss there. And that's why James Taylor was going to pile driver. Back body drop there. And he looks like he's got some type of, I don't know if that's plastic or some type of aluminum.
It's the windshield of a Ford F-150, an 84 F-150.
And that's oh my goodness, look at that pile driver there. I mean, oof. James Taylor, you hopefully don't have to get neck surgery after that one, because now you look like you are going to be put out to pasture. And it looks like some type of senton bomb there from Phoenix. And I tell you what, Phoenix is showing why. He is the Phoenix, the river-like Phoenix. Of course, the legendary actor in a DDT onto the ground. And boy, the Nemesis is going to be feeling that one here. I tell you what, that shower after this match is going to feel cold and colder, because he's going to need to be refreshed. Even then, it won't help the pain. But it looks like a trash can cover to the head. And James Taylor is now seeing stars. And who is that comes out there and helps Phoenix? There's another big man. No, it's not Camp from ROEW. Obviously, Camp is the new big guy in ROEW, and he's made a huge path of things here to help the guys out, the CJ Black, and now they're returning Jason Storm, but that is not Camp. Of course, Camp is, again, a part of ROEW now, and James Taylor is fighting back, and James Taylor looking at this here, boom, and you just threw Phoenix into that railroad sign here. Something tells me here that those Texas railroad tracks, even they're going to hear that one. And James Taylor is getting ready, and he's winding up, and he's about to do something here. Is he going to do, it looks like a suplex maybe? He's suplex city onto that metal plank, and you can look at those legs here of Phoenix. Phoenix is definitely he's in trouble.
He's feeling it.
And
Mind you,
Big T
it
also
was 102 that day.
and Big T wants to point out this match was one of the most painful of your career.
Yes, it was. Yes,
And
it
he
was.
knows something that we all know. And 102 degrees makes sense because I remember that 2004 summer. You want to know why, James Taylor? Because that summer in New York was one of the most hottest summers that I can remember because I had got a part-time job in the summer as a kid. And I had carried like it was a stack of 500 or 1,000 flyers. I forget what the exact number was. And I had to walk a mile home with it. And for whatever reason, I didn't have any bus fare to get home with it, and it was the most painful experience I've ever had in my life, but still not as painful as what you're going through right here, the Nemesis James Taylor, and your war with Phoenix. And
that's right. You're right. I wanted to say something. I hope that everybody that's watching this can see the physicality in this match, Tom. Be sure to show them that. Look at this.
Look, how about that stunner? That stunner. And you were the one that did that stunner first before Soldier GP, the popular heel monster, the IMF world champion somewhere. Soldier is smiling and taking notes because James Taylor is taking names with applications when it comes to the stunner of Phoenix. And Phoenix now looks like he's not going to be able to rise from the ashes of that. And there we go. There we see you. You throw him there, and now you're setting him up. What's that?
Scoop slam.
Scoop slammed him, and I knew that, but I just obviously now saw you just do an elbow drop, and boy, you're hurt from that elbow drop, James Taylor. I mean, certainly the scoop slam, the jackhammer, the suplex, you've done it all here so far, and he's still going, and Phoenix just gets right back up. I mean, you got to give Phoenix a lot of credit. I mean, this is why we mentioned Phoenix in our speech to induct him to the Hall of Fame, and it looks like Phoenix tried to kick you, but you wouldn't let that happen much longer, and now we see those legendary punches of yours come into play, and now Phoenix is down. And unlike your wars with Anthony Steele and Jay Wild, you're not letting up. You're certainly just giving it up to Phoenix. And interesting, maybe as you've gotten older, you've maybe tried to pace yourself more in these hardcore matches from what we're seeing now with Phoenix?
Well, the difference between then and now is back then I was fighting for my life, where nowadays I'm fighting a bunch of kids that don't seem to know what they're doing, and I don't.
I see. So you're saying you're fighting imitators?
Yeah, and I'm fighting guys who want to be hardcore, but they.
So basically, you were the Jimmy Controversy. You were the hardcore. You were the Mac 10 before those guys were hardcore. And boy, look at that there. I mean, he just basically stomped you onto the stomp sign, almost a mini curb stomp almost before, and you get right back up and shake it off. And I've also noticed your hair is different. But what do we see? Almost a little bit of a inverted, some type of gesture there, a crotch gesture.
Something you don't see every day.
And we're about to see this here right now as you were pile driving Phoenix once again. And boy, Phoenix, I don't know how this guy Phoenix is going to get up after this. I mean, he's going to be feeling this for a long time. And James Taylor is maybe motioning to put away Phoenix, but Phoenix is definitely dazed and confused. And Phoenix, maybe are you going for another pile driver here? The name is James Taylor. Wait a minute. I think it's pedigree time. Wouldn't be a James Taylor match without that pedigree. Pedigree onto the stop sign. And this could be over, ladies and gentlemen. James Taylor, you've got to get on him. Get to that 3 count. I'm not quite sure what you're waiting for here, but now you do it, but maybe kind of a nonchalant, a slow count, but that's not going to get it done here in this match, especially after what Phoenix has done and what he's been able to do in terms of getting himself back up. But James Taylor, you're going back to the well here, going back to more offense, and it looks like you're figuring out what to do with Phoenix. Maybe you should throw him if there's a water, or maybe a lake somewhere. Maybe throw him in the lake, see if that'll work. But you throw him right into the tree branch, and that's certainly going to do some type of pain because that speed limit says 45, and you're certainly. Wait a minute. Oh, my goodness. What did you just do there, James Taylor? Because Phoenix, it looks like he kind of countered it, and you're the one that's seeing stars, and you have to wonder here, what exactly Phoenix is going to do with this ladder. Is he going to just dump it on you? Yep, he just did that. He dumped it on you, James Taylor.
And I remember that. It was heavier than I thought it was, and about crushed the side of my face. I got lucky on that one, Tom.
Oof. Well, I can tell you, my first job actually was a summer job, actually working on a big mansion of a house in Greenwich, Connecticut, ironically of all places. And I remember actually lifting a ladder like that. Those ladders are very heavy, but it looks like here you could be forced to submit. Are you about to tap? We're going to see that count. No, you don't tap, but you're certainly down, and you got to be feeling that ladder shot, and you're going to be feeling a lot more things here because Phoenix is jumping up here off this metal plank here, and he's already about to do something, and maybe he's going to do almost like it's at a park here. He's going to basically be parkour here, and Scooby Stoney says, "You can move." That was insane. Yeah, that was definitely insane, and thank you, Scooby Stoney, for checking us out here. Scooby Stoney is one of my favorites here. Scooby Stoney, who's from Tennessee but loves every New York sports team. I think that's the most unique person that we know in sports. Why? That's why Scooby's going to join you in the Hall of Fame one of these days, real soon. But boy, there we go. Another suplex there, and James Taylor. I mean, I don't know if you need back surgery after this here. Have you had back surgery in your decorated career?
Never. I've been blessed.
Well, good things. And boy, he jumps off there, and it looks like, did he maybe? I want to say clothesline you. Yeah, that's what I thought. He kind of had a running clothesline. That's the exact
move
term.
Earlier, that move that you didn't know what happened, that was a tilt-a-whirl leg scissors he gave me.
Tilt-a-whirl leg scissors, which you do not see much in wrestling. I think Rey Mysterio does it once in a blue moon, but are you being choked out here with some type of rope? It looks like it, and kids, don't try this at home. I would promise you that it'll not work out for you. You might even be seeing some blue figuratively and literally, and James Taylor is seeing blue like almost a loose cannon promo or a loose cannon match for those that are listening and watching. But there we go. James Taylor finds a way to get back up. And James Taylor, with this Texas heat, how are you holding up?
Oh, I'm dying right now. I'm sweating to death. I'm hurting.
Heat exhaustion a concern right now at this point in the match?
No exhaustion, but the side of my wrist is bleeding profusely. You barely seen it, but you'll see more of it here in a little bit. My head's ringing, because that ladder and the chair shots and the pile driver. It's crazy.
And no, it's a powerbomb onto the metal plank. It looks like it. Oh my goodness.
So, ladies, fun fact, that is a steel slide that the old school kids used to slide down on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you might only find those in a park playground, or here in New York City, in a New York City park playground, you could find some of those metal slides, but we're not sliding. But I know one thing, that Phoenix is definitely feeling some of that slippity slide, almost like No Fantastic Voyage. And now we just see you slammed a car door onto the head of Phoenix, and Phoenix is going to be feeling these things here, almost like most of the wrestling world, how they felt what Anthony Steele had to say Tuesday Night Live on Sportswire Radio. But another car into the boy. I mean, are you trying to maim Phoenix? Are you trying to maim him? I mean,
I'm literally trying to rip his head off.
I hope that you are not being sued for liability here at this point on Sportswire.
No, there was a waiver signed before the match. We both.
Oh, good. Want to make sure. Want to make sure, because certainly this one here, kids, don't try this one at home. And I think everybody here in the TWF is just wondering, what more can you guys do to each other? And now we see, is that a light tube or some sort? It looks like maybe.
Yeah, it is. And another thing, that is a 1984 Ford F-150 solid metal.
And you ain't going to find those much of. Now, is the car still existing somewhere?
No, it's actually been totaled and trashed. Well, it was totaled right there, but after this, a couple of years after this, I think they finally just took it to a junkyard.
Well, hopefully the metal was certainly, but I tell you what, right now, Phoenix's head is very valuable into that certainly truck. Wait a minute, are you using something with that light tube? Because we see here you've got obviously in the trunk there, in the back of that trunk, Phoenix is there. Phoenix is carcass is there more or less, but you have that light tube. And are you going to do something that you very well could maybe permanently put Phoenix, to quote unquote put a permanent vacation into him, on to quote an Aerosmith album of my liking?
I'm trying to hurt him. That's all I'm doing. I'm trying to hurt this man, Tom, and teach him a lesson not to mess with James Taylor, period.
Oh, I think you're doing it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. OMG. They didn't use OMG back in 2004. They did use LOL, but we ain't saying LOL, LMAO. We may be seeing GTFLO when it comes to what we just saw Phoenix deal with when it comes to his body from James Taylor is using Phoenix's body almost like an object. Almost you were using it like one of your toy figures or one of your Rock'em Sock'em figures you used back in 98, 99, because I don't even know if Phoenix, how he's alive at this point. You could see Phoenix is just feeling it. And again, I'm with Scooby Stoney. You certainly could be Cobra Kai certified. Are you Cobra Kai certified at this point?
If that's what people think, I guess so.
Well, we got that basically that trash can that's already been used, and it looks like you're going to be using it once again, maybe for an ornament. But no, Phoenix actually maybe low blows you, and you go into that trash can there.
He gave me a drop toe hold. And
a drop toe. We could not see that there. The camera angle wasn't where we were able to see it, but certainly Phoenix is he going to drive? No, he's actually got another light tube. Oh, I think James Taylor, you're going to be seeing some color here shortly because that light tube is coming to your body unless you do something. Wait a minute. What happened? I think Phoenix.
Guess he had second thoughts. I don't know.
But James Taylor, you better figure this out because your body could be seeing some color real soon. Nope, it looks like not. But you're going to be getting something done.
He struggled right here.
I think, was he trying for a fall away slam? Was that what he was looking for? Maybe a fall away slam? It looked like maybe.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit bigger than him, so he struggled picking me up a little bit.
Well, you know what? That was at his detriment, and now you took another light tube here. Certainly, Matthew Forsaken, take note. Nicholas Crenton, take note. Our light tube buddies that have taken a few light tubes, certainly at IMF shows of late. But I don't know how Phoenix is standing here. And Phoenix, boy, he's almost fighting for dear life. Maybe you guys are both fighting for survival. And oh my God, you have just been thrown into the back of that car. And that one is going to be certainly felt for years to come because that's about 5,000, maybe even more pounds of hard metal objects. And you're going to be feeling that like there's no tomorrow. And those kicks into your back and into your chest and those elbows into your back, your upper back area, I mean, your shoulder blade even might have got some of that. I mean, you're definitely feeling it, James Taylor, and you ain't feeling it in a good way. And we see somebody kind of watching from afar, and
that's
it looks
his brother. That's his older brother.
Oh my God! I think you're going to be seeing some color now, James Taylor. Oh my God! You just had. It looks like, was that part of a light tube there that was just basically bashed onto your head and. Yep. You know, you got to be feeling it now, James Taylor. At this point, I mean...
Oh, you'll see my pain right here. It's all pain. It's all emotion. Look, watch my face.
I saw the hand and the neck. I don't know how you've gotten up and alive here. I mean, this is certainly not...
Watch the shot. Watch the shot.
Oh, my God! And this is kids. This is not a movie. James Taylor is not a stuntman. This is not fake. This is not kosher. And wait a minute. What did Phoenix's brother just do here?
Look at my back.
Why did Phoenix's brother just turn on him?
Because that is his brother, and his name is Chris McGuile, and that's another old rival.
A man that we spoke about when we inducted you into the Hall of Fame. And it looks like now you're going somewhere. And I think for Phoenix, this is not going to be a happy ending, quote unquote. And now we see here the punches, those legendary shots that you've been known for since 98. Some say 99, I say 98. And boy, you are stomping a mud hole right now into Phoenix. And it looks like there could be no tomorrow for Phoenix. And like I said, it feels like a Phoenix heat right now. But James Taylor, you've kind of risen from the blood and you're just on pure adrenaline right now, pure emotions. Looking like you're about to finish the job here. And yeah, I'm with you, Scooby. This is blowing my mind. This is something you're not seeing in WWE right now. This is not something you see in AEW. This is not something you're seeing in the movies. This is not something you're seeing in TBW, VTW, DBW. Maybe you see it in the IMF. Maybe you see it sort of in Resurrection Wrestling because of Jimmy Controversy in Mac 10. But this is James Taylor showing that
that's my blood all over.
That's his blood. And that's his blood like Jesus Christ when he gave his sins onto the cross. James Taylor is right now dying like he is on the cross right now. And that senton bomb looks like here you are basically, I mean, this is not a movie. This is real life. And you might have to call a doctor. You might need a paramedic. and we might need that ambulance to come right away. Another one. That senton bomb is basically about to put you out for dear life. And 1, 2, 3. James Taylor, you ain't getting up from that. Phoenix has found a way to rise from the ashes, but also take countless pints of your blood here. I mean, James Taylor, and now it looks like, is he trying to tie you onto the wood? Is he trying to pull an Undertaker, a Stone Cold Steve Austin, and tie your hands to this wooden plank and keep you there lying and maybe die in this Texas heat? I sure hope not, but you were almost trying to clutch your hands, almost like Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 when he rises back up in the beginning of the movie, but you were certainly not doing that, and we see some pushes here, and it looks like Phoenix is just, I mean, he's right now on pure adrenaline. He double arm DDTs that individual, and that could be anybody. Look at the hand of James Taylor. I mean, that's James Taylor. Certainly, I hope that the missus doesn't watch that video once again. And is it Phoenix going for more?
He wants some more, and
I
found something left.
Wait a minute. Has James Taylor reached? He has reached in from pure adrenaline and found a way to get one more stunner in on Phoenix. And boy, Phoenix made a rookie-like mistake there, trying to go for more and pound on the head of James Taylor. And James Taylor, on pure survival, pure instinct, this was basically his fight or flight moment, and he finds a way to live another day and hit that stunner. And now we see the origins of the Nemesis and Operatives. Watch what he's going to do to Phoenix, because Phoenix, you are certainly going to be lying around tomorrow. Like, not just Phoenix, but rather your Armageddon. Almost like our buddy Armageddon, Shane Davidson, who we now know it's your boy Shane. But Phoenix, you ain't our boy, because James Taylor is about to stop him. Wait a minute. Are those cans of soda? Are those cans of Fresca? Because they can't be beer, because he's only 20 in this picture. So I don't know what he's doing with those cans, but is he drinking them? Is he getting ready? Oh, hell yeah. The Nemesis, are we expecting that stunner? And Phoenix, you better just run away, find shade, find water, and I don't think you're going to get a chance to do that, because James Taylor is about to pop a cold one in here and hit a stunner. Stunner! The Nemesis, James Taylor. And he gets another drink here. I don't know what he's drinking here. It better be Coke.
That's it there.
It better be Pepsi. Actually, no, it better not be Coke or Pepsi, because in the heat, the worst thing to drink is soda, because you could get heat exhaustion from that. So hopefully it's something that's not alcoholic. But James Taylor is celebrating. We get a chance to see him ride off into the sunset, even though he's in pain. All that blood, all that's basically gone into his body. Look at his shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a chance, buy that shirt on eBay if he still has it, because with his following, that shirt could be worth thousands and thousands of dollars. You know, Anthony Steele might have the Thriller jacket, the Jordans, but James Taylor's got the bloody shirt there, the bloody crew cut shirt. You might want that here, because it's going to be worth knowing his following. And I don't know what he's doing to Phoenix, but he is pounding it on here. After what Phoenix did to him, it's only fair, some would say. And James Taylor is waiting for it. One more. Wait! Phoenix is fighting. Phoenix and Steve Stunners. James Taylor. Phoenix and James. This is almost. Is this real? Is this a video game? Is this? These guys can't be real, ladies and gentlemen. These guys.
Just watch what he's about to do.
Oh my goodness, he's spilling some type of beverage. It better not be alcoholic. It better be Sprite, because James Taylor, you don't got the Sprite in you, and he looks like he gave him a super kick onto that wooden plank. And boy, James Taylor, you look like you are going to be certainly no stuntman after this. You are going to be feeling this. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, this looks like it's more like from John Wick. It looks like it's more from Equalizer. It looks like more from Beekeeper. And James Taylor, you know, ladies and gentlemen, you certainly went through the wrunger here. And I'm with Scooby. Did you need stitches for this?
Surprisingly, no, I didn't.
So after the match,
I got a scar on my left wrist. It's barely visible, but there's a little round circle.
You know, I'm gonna make you laugh. I'm gonna make the audience laugh. You know, one of my jobs is obviously in politics, and I was knocking on doors last Monday in New York. It was very cold, and I was running, I can't say too much more than I was trying to do something to basically outfake my opponents, which was basically go to certain areas all at once. Think of it like playing tag. It's almost like playing tag. And I was trying to catch a bus to get me to a destination where I needed to kind of do something. And unfortunately, I didn't see where I was going. And I kind of slipped in the New York hard cement. It's kind of like what you saw there with the wood. Unfortunately, I had like a very severe bruise on my finger, but compared to what you had there, now, I'm fine now because it's just about healed. But compared to what you had, I'm not even going to say anything. I don't know how you're alive afterwards.
I like to point out in that match that fun couple of things. One,
Sure.
that is actually still to this day my top 3 favorite matches in my entire career. Even though I lost, it was still one of my most.
But why would it be a favorite match if you lost?
Because all right, I had a lot of memories back then, and that one was one of my matches that was probably when I was starting to hit my prime, and I was in my comfort zone. I could go out there in the yard and knew I was going to be
So
okay.
it's safe to say that you and Joe Anderson wouldn't have a match like this.
Honestly, no. And me and Titan, Titan's the Hollywood Titan. He's the king of hardcore.
He is. We we're having him in the Hall of Fame on Thursday. We love Titan on Sportswire. We do love him. I understand.
Yeah, it's just backyard wrestling back then. Tom was a whole different animal.
Well, I wanted to ask you: do you keep in touch with Phoenix?
Yeah.
So what happened with Phoenix in his career?
It just it didn't go the way it wanted to go, and he lives up in Oregon now. Actually,
Oregon,
of all places.
What made him move to Oregon?
I don't know exactly when, but it was probably about 7-8 years ago. But I know that he's a store manager for a Walmart up there, and he makes good, so he's doing good for himself. But we do stay in contact, and he's aware of the matches. He's seen all my new stuff, and he follows me. We stay in contact. Me and Chris, his older brother, are actually, we've been best friends since we were in kindergarten, and I still talk to him to this day. So,
have you ever considered bringing him on to the Nemesis sessions?
He don't want to. He's not that type. I've tried already. Maybe. I'm slowly getting to where I can convince him, but just stay tuned. I'm going to do my best to get him on there.
I mean, and again, with a match like that, I mean, did you
want
to
do? What was your take on that? After you called it and you've seen it, I don't know how many times you've seen that match.
I've seen it probably twice before this. I watched it before you got inducted, and then I watched it months back because when I inducted you, I obviously mentioned Phoenix, so I watched this match before. This match I watched it one other time months ago, so I watched it twice before. This is the first time I've watched it to call.
So you've seen how physical it was. What is your take on how physical that was compared to backyard match today?
I would say that in that match was on par with what I've seen from guys like Mikey Anarchy, Jimmy Controversy, a little bit of Mac 10. I would say that was a kind of an old school rugged match. And we're joined here by Anthony Steele. And Anthony, you've kind of caught us here at the end of the show, but I'm sure we'll save maybe you calling a match with DJ for next when you get inducted into the Hall of Fame. But I'm sure you maybe caught some of me and James going over his legendary war with Phoenix back in August 2004. But to summarize what I wanted to say, James, on that, there's no question that it was a throwback. It was a classic throwback of match. But I'll tell you what comes to my mind. You ready to laugh? That 2004 wasn't that long ago. Technology wasn't bad in 2004. Technology, we had MySpace in 2004. We had Meet Spot. I mean, we had social media kind of, and it looks like it was like 40 years ago. Why does 2004 technology look so old? That's what I really think.
It's the camera that was used.
Okay, fair enough. But 2004 it didn't feel that old. I mean, 2004, I remember being in 2004 and like, wow, 1994 felt kind of old. But yeah, I mean, and when watching the match, no, I mean, compared to some wrestling that we cover in the yard, this was far more hardcore. Compared to, it's probably slightly less hardcore than, let's say, a hardcore in Obey. but those guys do things. Mikey Anarchy to an extent at times, but no, it's definitely on par from what I would expect in an underground backyard show. That's to answer your
Oh
question.
yeah, definitely.
And we're joined here by Anthony Steele. Before we actually get to the last parts of the show, we're hoping to have you on throughout the show, but we're glad you're here. And, what was your impressions on that legendary war with, Phoenix and James Taylor? Probably one of the matches you watched in order to get James back, and you had that famous war with him in Tennessee backyard wrestling.
That match was one of the matches that I checked out when I first brought James back, because the whole thing was I wanted to study him. I wanted to study his his hardcore capabilities, and that was one of the matches that brought attention to myself. And just looking at it, it was like, all right, so James can go the distance per se, and in that match back then, you didn't really see a lot of people do that.
Yeah, watching that match, I mean, we saw the light tubes, we saw what you guys did with each other in terms of the objects, the metal objects, the wooden objects. You guys used the ladder. I think the ladder shot had to have been one of the most painful shots you took in the night, actually, because I know those ladders from 20 years ago. They were heavy.
I knew it was kind of heavy, but I didn't realize how heavy it was when that sumbitch is falling over and it goes and
did it hurt? Did it hurt more because of the heat?
Maybe because I was so hot. Probably. Sometimes you ever get so hot you feel like Jello almost.
Oh, you know what? I'm a newspaper carrier overnight when we get like the really humid days in New York, which we get them actually, and I'll come outside like my first 5 minutes on my route. My route's about. It used to be a lot longer, but people don't read the newspaper anymore. So it's about little over 2 hours, I would say, on a regular day. And the first 5 minutes in, I'll be like soiled. I'm like, okay, that's exactly how you felt.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's exactly how you felt. Yeah, I mean, I think that there was so many shots in the match, and you guys went 20 plus minutes. I mean, was there a point that you guys said, "Hey, let's end the match," or how did that go back?
That part at the end was where we were like, okay, let's find it. We didn't want it to drag on. We really could have gone another 40 minutes if we wanted to. That was how.
Did you have it still in you to go that long?
Oh, definitely, 100%. Especially back then. I walked everywhere. I didn't even have a car at 20 years old. That's the type of environment.
Hey, I'm in New York City.
I walked everywhere.
Hey, listen, I'm in New York City. The audience won't believe this. I don't drive. I don't have a car. I'm in New York City, though. New York City, totally different dynamic. I mean,
understandable and respectable. I came from an environment where I had
to drive
literally for everything I had. I wasn't blessed with it, other than the fact that I had health, and even though there were days where I would be starving, in a way, it was like fasting. I look at it today. So that's why I looked at really in top shape. And I was walking up and down hills. I was working. I was just
That's me right now the last couple of weeks. I've knocked on some, like, I've 1,000 or 1,500 doors in 3 weeks. So I get that. But let me ask you, though, I'm curious, did you guys work out the match before you had the match itself?
The beauty of those days was literally we're like, hey, we're going to have this match. Who's going to go over? Okay, that's it. Let's go out there and have fun.
So there was no arguing. There was no politicking?
Nothing. Just two guys or a bunch of guys going out there literally doing what they want to do that's fun to them.
Could you do a match like that? Maybe not in the objects you did, but can you do a match today where you just go out there and just have fun and just doesn't have to be a hardcore match? Even if the match you're just punching, brawling, no objects, but could you do a match like that today?
I could with a select.
No, he couldn't. No, he couldn't.
Never mind.
Could you do it with ADT?
I could with a select.
Could you do it with ADT?
ADT? No. When I say a select few people, it means people have already wrestled.
Okay. So it'd be Jay Wild.
Anthony. I could go out there with Anthony and just call the match right in the middle.
Jay Wild, you could probably do it with Jay Wild.
That's who I was going to say. This is the other one would be Jay Wild. Other than that, that's it. Now, if me and Phoenix was to get back into it, it'd be the same thing like it was back then. Me and Chris, same thing. But that's literally that's how you know you trust somebody enough. Is like, hey man, you want to just go out here and just have a match, just put on a show? Fuck yeah, let's do it. And then we just go out there and do it and just tear the house down. That's how you know you're good enough to make it.
Now, for you, Anthony, can you do the same thing and just have a match with somebody randomly like that and just
Oh
call
yeah,
a match? You can do
oh, yeah.
that, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Russell Cooper, James was there around that time on that day. It was the first day James showed up. Like, they told me, he was training. They were doing all this shit, and they kept sending me videos, and I'm like, you know, he needs a lot more fucking work. He needs to boost some shit up. And then it came time for me and him to have that match, and he just looked at me and he goes, let's just call it. You know, there's one thing I do want to do in this match. If you're okay with me doing it, I was like, fine, that's perfectly fine. And I just kept telling him, like, what to do next. Like, my number one thing, as I said, is my job's not only to make me look good, it's to make my opponent look good. So, like, say me and you, if me and you were to have a match, Tom, you've never been in the ring,
No,
you're,
okay.
you know, I could walk into a match and do play by play, call it right there on the spot, and I can make you look like $1,000,000 fucking. Like, that's my job. That's
I,
the one thing our wrestlers need to understand is it's your job to make not only yourself but your opponent look as good as you. Which is the same said for your opponent. They need to make themselves look good just as much as they're making you look good.
well, you know what? I could relate to that. For example, we had Lydia Myers on earlier today. And Lydia Myers, again, phenomenal talent. I mean, she's a phenomenal talent. But as a talker, you could tell she was a little bit nervous. So I had to use my abilities to kind of, as the person that's doing the interview, to kind of guide her in a way that she could still not show her shortcomings as much, to make her feel like that she could be comfortable on the air. So I could understand from the wrestler's standpoint, conversely, that if you have somebody that's inexperienced in the ring, you have to be able to guide them almost like a driving instructor for a student to learn how to drive. It's the same, obviously totally different things, but the point is that I could see that. So let me ask you a different question, Anthony. In NOCW, is it like that? Do you
I mean,
what's that like?
I've worked with a couple people there.
Bullwhip being one of them, obviously.
Like working with a dude. I've worked with him twice actually, and me and him, it's the first time ever meeting. The first time we faced, the night was so hectic. Didn't have a top rope at all. James, you remember that night because you looked at me and was like, "Where the fuck's the top rope?" We worked basically almost the entire match outside the ring, and like we were just in there. We were calling our spots. We were calling what we wanted to do, and we just fed off each other. We were like, what is going to get the crowd amped? And that's the way I look at a match. Is it's not what's going to look good to me. It's what's going to look good to the audience who's viewing it, who's out there watching. April 20th is NOCW Grand Stage.
Oh, 420 Day of the irony.
And so, I'm going in as the First Blood champion, and whoever I face, I know I'm going to tear the house down with them. It's going to be, a match for the ages. I'm going to do what I do best, and that's work. I'm gonna wrestle. And the best message I got to say to anybody is, I've said it multiple times. Only you can make or break yourself. Like,
so you're not. I guess business is pretty good, right? You're not. No, I guess you must not be banned everywhere because you're on the ring April 20th. You just confirmed it, defending the NOCW First Blood Champions.
Yeah, April 20th. I don't know if it's for my title, but I know I'm gonna be in that ring. I know straight up I'm gonna be at Grand Stage. And
Big crowd too, by the way, 420 Day. And by the way, Mr. Tilley would like to say, well said, Steele. I agree. 100% guys in BYW lack selling ability. And I want to also bring up a quote one more time that Tilley always says, and I love Hillbilly Tilley, by the way. I am proud not only is AWL working with Sportswire, but he is in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And he said that backyard wrestlers, true backyard wrestlers, do this for the love of wrestling. That's what it's about. And you guys, despite what anybody can say, for my money, will always come on Sportswire because you guys have time and time again have done this and have been here in this great sport for your love of wrestling, for your love of this sport. So I want to say on that, I'm with Hillbilly Tilly and what you guys do for us on Sportswire.
That's the thing, and James can agree with this. Is there's gonna be people that are out here looking for popularity. Like who's gonna notice me? What's all this? It's that's like 10% of it. That's to me, it's 10%. You know, of course, when you do this, you're gonna want to get noticed. You're gonna want someone to be like, oh, that's Anthony Steele, or oh, that's James Taylor. You want that, but your wrestling is, to me and James, which we've both said this, it's our life. It's our life. This is what we love to do. This is what we want to do.
Oh, I could tell the passion is there. Listen, you're guys, it's up there. We have so many people on this platform that come on and have passion. Omen and Soldier have unmatched passion with you guys. Jack Delta has a lot of passion. I think that Aaron Blaze has shown passion to me, even though he hasn't been on the platform. Tommy the Man Merriman has a lot of passion. Tommy travels all over the place. Justin Parsley. I think CJ Black, whether you like him or not, he has a lot of passion for what he does in his company. I think that the guys in VTW, all the guys, Chase Wakefield, Aaron Jones, I think all the guys in DBW, Ace Christian, Mr. Judgment, Cyrus, Brandon Costelli, I think so many people, even the guys like Nicholas Crenson, Sean Jovi definitely has passion. I love Sean Jovi, the resident rock star. Sean Jovi, I mean, he is like the most beloved person, I think, right now in this sport. I mean, you've got guys, so many people you could think of that have such a love for this sport of wrestling. Hillbilly Tilly has it. AJ Morgan to me has it. Dylan Andrews, D'Angelo LaFlame. Oh, if I don't mention D'Angelo LaFlame for his love of this sport, I'm going to get axed because he's the most energetic man I may have ever met in my life. He is so awesome. It's tenfold. I mean, his energy is infectious. I mean, DJ Walbert. I mean, I wish DJ Walbert well because DJ Walbert to me is one of those guys that's got so much passion and infection in the ring. I mean, there's just so many. But I can go on and on about the people that come on Sportswire, and you guys are right up there in the passion. I think that's why I can't wait for next Sunday. And Anthony, you get to go into the history books in the Sports by Radio Hall of Fame, and then we'll watch that match with you and DJ Walbert then, and we'll get to celebrate that match because it's obviously I don't have much of a voice right now to watch a 20-minute match because we had James. We were waiting for you to come on, and we went with James because James is the nemesis. But
I was on the phone with my booker. By the way,
I was going to say, I was thinking maybe you obviously your agent, you're obviously getting ready for things, and you're obviously getting ready for the big day on Sunday. And before I get to closing thoughts, is there anything else that you guys would like to add or like to say? I'm sure we'll see you guys during the week before Sunday. I have no doubt. But anything else you guys want to add before I get to closing thoughts?
Do you want to add something, James? I'll let you have the ground.
Now, why don't you help? Nobody heard from you all night.
That's fine. Hey, look, people love to hear Anthony Steele talk.
Next Sunday, the world's going to be back with Anthony Steele. You just watch next Sunday, Hall of Fame, Anthony Steele. Podcasts are going to be formed throughout the week. Anthony Steele's in the Hall of Fame. There'll be now podcasts where some guys will say there'll be 8-time Hall of Famers or 9-time Hall of Famers before.
Like one thing I will say is, the backyard wrestling is one of those aspects where me being on the indies and telling indie people I did backyard wrestling, a lot of people frown on it.
I know, I've heard the stories, and I've stuck up for a lot of the backyarders from it because the independents would get on their high horse, and I'm going to say it, even though those guys in the independents do not have a tenth of the passion of the backyarders and don't have a tenth of the following. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, the indie guys, I get some of them come on here and they draw crickets. I mean, I don't want to say names that have come on to Sportswire, not recently, but in the past. I've had a lot of my British independent wrestlers come on here, and they're basically as boring as dry paint. They come on here and, they can't. No, seriously, not most recently. We've had some great indie guys come on and gals come on. Lydia Myers was great. Andrew Lovelace. I mean, this guy was like one of the most charismatic people I've had. But, we've had some guys come on, more overseas over the years, and they've come on here, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. But the point is that, indie guys sometimes get on their soapboxes, but backyard guys and YouTube guys they know how to far better promote themselves than the indie guys. Just saying.
Well, that's the thing is, like I said, 10% of it is you want to get noticed, and that's what a lot of people in the backyard are just focused on. Is they're focused on getting noticed.
But that's an important part, though. And I can tell you, is again somebody that's worked in different fields outside of the wrestling world. Yeah, visibility is key. If you don't have visibility, if you don't market yourself,
I
who
mean,
hears it?
You're right.
marketing is a big thing, especially I just did a show Friday night, which was it was not the bullwhip match. I've come to the thing where my Instagram. I'm gonna be posting my matches.
Good, because I want to call them on Sportzwire with you and talk about that. I want DJ for the Hall of Fame next, because I actually was hoping we would have had DJ on live with us, but DJ said he'll rain check, so maybe I'll get DJ to come and say hello next Sunday. I would love to see DJ back on Sportswire with you while we're watching the match. So I talked to him today.
Hey, if he's down for it, I'm down for it. But 100%, the one thing I will say is, for once, I'm not going to talk shit on someone to give people advice.
It might still be seen as you talking stuff, though. You just
look, take it how you break it. I mean, that's how you got to do it. But coming from being a yarder and then going to the independent scene is two different things. There's a big,
I agree with that.
Big shift in wrestling. Because at that point, you're coming into a situation where they want you to get noticed. They're going to do what they can to get you noticed, but at the same time, you have to work with them as much as they're going to work with you, because then you're going to be known as what is called a jobber. You never want to have that title that you're someone that can't be worked with, because then that puts a mark on your name for then when you go to get other bookings per se, and they're like, oh, who'd you work with? And then you tell them, and they're like, oh, I know that person. They hit them up, and then they ask,
it's word of mouth. I understand it completely. In the political world, it's exactly like that. They'll say, oh, so who do you know? And they'll say, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll call that person, and then they'll kind of try to see, I don't want to say the exact words on the air, but basically they're trying to see if they could stereotype you. Or also the old adage is they'll cut your legs from underneath you. That's basically 100%. The word. That's the
word. And I know I'm new to the indie scene. I'm not like a lot of these other guys from, the UK or in the US that's been doing the indie scene for a while. But the one thing I do love about it is, you get that. You get that time to shine. Whether it's, putting someone over or you finally getting that, that your first one on the indie scene. I'll say it. My first one on the indie scene, bro, it was fucking lit. I promise you. And it was like
you've been in thousands of homes. I just find that fascinating, because you've been in you've had some big matches on YouTube. I mean, you say that in more, huh?
It was one of those things I'll say it. I said I wanted a match with Tommy Merriman. I really did before I left.
I can't wait, Tommy Merriman, for him to come on Thursday. I cannot wait. I love Tommy Merriman.
Because I've seen Tommy work, and I told him, I was like, look, dude, you're a buff guy. I'm a bigger guy. It would work. It would be two powerhouses, colliding together. And people don't understand, you don't always have to be buff, which is that's my thing. That's my take on wrestling for me is, everyone thinks that you have to be buff. You have to be this, chiseled fucking guy, big biceps.
Listen, Flair was never the most muscular guy, and Flair held the most world championship in wrestling history. Kevin Owens has been a main eventer, and Kevin Owens' physique isn't, let's say Scott Steiner's was. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I mean, Owen Hart, for example, didn't have a great physique. Shawn Michaels, at the end of this first run, had the physique, but he was never a buff guy. I mean, There's plenty of guys in wrestling that didn't have the buff. Daniel Bryan didn't later on got the buff look, but it wasn't. Not everybody has it.
I'm gonna say this, me, am I chiseled? No. Am I fucking buff as shit? No.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I don't. I mean, I'm accepting of it.
Okay.
Look,
Now compared to Tommy Merriman, yeah, Tommy Merriman might be the most. Tommy Merriman in backyard underground wrestling might be the most. Might have the best physique. If you're asking me, pound for pound, Tommy Merriman might have the best physique of anybody out there. I would say Tommy Merriman, maybe one, maybe Judgment two. Mr. Judgment might have the second best
Like,
physique.
I got a dad bod. I ain't afraid to fucking admit it. I got a dad bod. But at the same time, like I picked up Omen Black. I fucking carried that man on my shoulders. 6 foot, 385-pound man, straight
I'm
on.
aware. He's been on my screen many times. I've seen him.
Like it. The thing about me is, I don't want to look like Roman. I don't want to look like Brock. I don't want to look like The Rock. I want enough strength that I know I can handle myself in that ring. And I know with the way that I produce my muscle and everything, number one, I don't skip leg day. Leg day is important. I train my biceps every day. I'm constantly active. I'm walking, doing something like of that nature. And I don't want to. Another thing is, everyone wants to be a gym head. You don't have to be a gym head. You don't have to stay in the gym 24/7. To get a look, to get body mass, to get muscle tone. You can do all that at home. You can do that at work. You can do that just doing everyday things.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I mean, I've done a lot of work with baseball players, and baseball players, some guys don't believe in that you need to go and hit the gym, let's say twice a day or even every day. There is that you can be cut still, but have a different type of cut. Some people even think that working out every day is bad because it's bad for your muscles. I mean, I don't necessarily know right for that. As somebody that's in, relatively always been physically active, I don't know right full on that. I mean, but Jack Delta had a funny comment, which basically echoes what I said. Backyard wrestlers are used to being on YouTube channels, so they have a certain presentation to them. Indie guys aren't used to cameras. Exactly my point. Indie guys, sure, I'm not taking away their talent, but there's a lot of guys that if nobody knows you and you're a pro wrestler or an indie wrestler, what does it mean? What does it really mean if nobody's watching you?
Right.
What does it mean? You can say what you want about people, but VTW, I mean, a lot of those guys are half of them, I would say, are probably trained, but versus the World Wrestling, 1,000, 1,500 people watch those shows each time. DBW, 2,000, 3,000 people watch their shows. Yes, TBW. TBW has 7,000 subscribers. 4,000 or 5,000 people watch their shows. They're not pro wrestlers. IMF, before they obviously became a live company, were in the backyard. They were having thousands of views. I mean, your old company, right? NJGPW, right? That had what? Thousands of views. ESW. James, you had ESW on not too long ago. I mean, so to me, they're the ones with the views. I just look at it, to me, at the end of the day, if you could be a pro wrestler, an indie wrestler, but if nobody knows you, what does it all mean? Nobody's watching you.
Like, I will say one big thing is, again, a lot of people shit on backyard, but
Not on Sportswire. You know that. Not on
yeah,
Sportswire.
not Sportzwire. But remember where you come from. I've gotten this a lot. Is I went indie, so I forgot about the yard. I act like I'm not a yarder, homie. The yard's where I started. Like, that's where I got the connections, basically, for you know basically the indie scene, was because let it be known, Resurrection Wrestling is how I got on the indie scene.
Yeah, because Resurrection's like, if we're being real, it's like the borderline. Is the
No,
borderline.
it wasn't even that. It was, they hired a dude by the name of Jeremiah Dapper. Jeremiah Dapper was then, he's cousins with the owner of NOCW. And just randomly, I was talking to him one day, and he was like,
You want a job?
He was like, I'm gonna hook you up with an indie show. And he was the one that brought me to my first ever indie show, which was at the Haystack in Millington in the summer, in August of 2022. I did the show there, and actually one of the dudes that that works at the show in Middleton that I do every Friday was my tag team partner in my first indie match. And so we sit there, we cut it up. We've talked about, hey, let's get in the ring together, work some shit out, do some shit. And it's one of those things where I know I was a yarder. I 100% respect that I was a yarder because I 100% will say if I wasn't a yarder, I would not be where I'm at today because it took all that time, all that effort of producing just shit with some boys from school, some boys that we all knew growing up with and everything to make a product. And then once we made that product, we reached out to other people that were making product. And then,
That's what it's about. It's the word of mouth. It's traveling, you connection, networking, and that's where I think that backyard wrestling means a lot. And obviously, we're going to talk a lot about that next Sunday. Again, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Be there or be square as Anthony Steele, the real deal, takes his place into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. I'm going to have a resounding speech. I'm going to have a speech that I'm telling you, it's going to be like no other. And I'm sure many friends of Sportswire Radio are going to be here. They're going to certainly come into the show and maybe say a few words, hopefully not roast Anthony, but maybe celebrate his career. And I'm sure maybe some of the people that Anthony has talked about are going to be watching secretly. It's going to be one for the ages. Next Sunday, 10 o'clock Eastern time, Anthony Steele will take his place into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But I see James Taylor. We're going to get to closing notes because I see you're getting ready to yawn. So it means it's time for me to get the hook off the show tonight. And because I'm actually ready for your closing thoughts, I want to pass the baton to you and can't wait for next Sunday because I know you're going to be here to celebrate our dear friend. Yes, Anthony Steele, proud to call this man a friend, proud to support him, proud to watch him in the ring. I will always support those that are here in the ring. I will support all wrestlers out there, and I can't wait to wear that Anthony Steele shirt. But in the meantime, I've got your shirt on. I want your closing thoughts and anything else you want to plug for our fellow operatives.
See, backyard wrestling is really everything that it is when it comes to a wrestling fan, because a lot of these guys, myself included, back in the day, didn't have the superpower of the internet. I didn't have a phone or a device in my pocket where I could just look up something and figure out where I could go next. It was literally, we went to a pawn shop, saved up every little dime that we could to buy a camera so we could get ourselves on camera. Because when it first started was, man, I love how Stone Cold does that. I love how The Undertaker does that and Kane does that. I want to go out there and do it too. Of course I want to be safe, but I just want to do it, see if I can. And instead of going out to the bar and getting messed up, drunk, and all that stupid stuff and doing other things you shouldn't be doing, me and the guys would go out there. That's how a lot of backyard wrestlers, I'm sure, all over the country were. They would want to go out there and just kick ass and just beat the hell out of each other just for fun, and also because of the fact that they knew they didn't have the money to go to a wrestling school. Not only that, they didn't know where to find a wrestling school.
I had Reynaldo on 20 years ago, and Reynaldo, he had to go to Canada all the way from the UK. So
yeah, so you see, I mean, it was harder back then. Did it mean that I missed my shot? Yeah. Everything happens for a reason, I believe, Tom. And honestly, it doesn't matter about making it real big anymore to me in my stage of my career, of course, my age. But I enjoy this. I love this. I live it. I feel it. I breathe it, eat, sleep. I eat, sleep, breathe wrestling until the day I die. I will. I'll probably, whenever we go to the funeral, if you ever come to a James Taylor funeral, you're going to have a little championship belt on me when they're putting me down 6 feet.
Hopefully that Sportswire Radio certificates will be in the box. Hopefully, some other things we've had from you. So, hopefully that's like 50 years from now.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm going to be about 140 before I pass. But besides,
I actually knew a guy who
lived 140 pounds.
I did know a guy who died at 105. So you never know.
There you go. I live it, and any guy who's really in this sport, especially in the backyard world, egos are bad today's time. But honestly, at the end of the day, I think everybody that's in it loves wrestling, and they all want to be the best. And you really should be that way. You should, at a certain aspect, you should believe in your heart that you are the best. But I guess it's time to put up or shut up whenever it comes down to getting in the ring with somebody who really is the best. And other than that, Tom, I love this business, and I'm at the point in my career that I'm actually starting to enjoy even more, where I hated criticism. I used to despise it. If people said something about Stone Cold to me or Triple H, it would tick me off. It pissed me off. Yeah, it gets under my skin, but now I'm just kind of taking it with you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad that you're noticing me enough to point things out like that. When you get in the ring with me, you can ask anybody I've been in the ring with, especially even Anthony right here. He's living proof. When you get in the ring with me, you can tell me after that match if I'm going to take it from you, Anthony, for a second, if I'm a real deal or not, because I back up.
This gimmick infringement.
I back up. How many times have you said my catchphrase? So kiss my ass. So I back up every word I say, Tom. And anybody who's real that loves this business and backyard wrestling, especially, if you love this business, then back up every fucking word you say. Because if you don't believe in your heart that you are the best at what you do in that ring, in the yard, whatever it is that you do, if you don't believe it and you don't believe truly in your heart, your audience isn't going to believe it.
Hey, you want to steal something from you? Let me get my James Taylor voice going. Because there can't be no other way.
Okay, well say it like that. I mean, it's just literally, and that's because there can't be no other way.
I didn't have the voice.
Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, there will be another way because James Taylor and Anthony Steele are always going to be back on Sportswire. They're always welcomed here. And next Sunday, Anthony Steele takes his place into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And I'm turning it over to you, Anthony, for closing thoughts. Plus, I want to present something special where you better be joining me and supporting Anthony Steele with that merchandise here right now. And for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, I turn it over to you, Anthony Steele, the real deal. And we've got some merchandise. Go out there and support this man and go buy your shirt. I know I'm going to be doing it here this week, getting my Steal the Show shirt there, right there. And
$40 for shorts. Come
hey,
on.
I didn't create those prices.
But 25, right. It's $25 Steal the Show. So you get the $25 shirt. It's a good deal. So get that $25 shirt.
I put Tom up with a really good deal. So
you did a great deal. But Anthony Steele, he needs to make some money, and we need the real deal to certainly be living, so we can see him in the ring, and certainly make sure that he can be in a not an 8-time Hall of Famer with multiple shows. And so, Anthony, let's turn it over to you though on a positive note and give you the floor.
Well, one, there's going to be new merchandise coming out all the time. That's just the start of it. I will be uploading. I know it's not October, but I tried to upload it a long time ago. I do have breast cancer awareness merch.
Amen.
So that
was going to be an Anthony Steele costume for Halloween.
Hey, look, if you want to dress up as me, James, just grow your hair out a little bit, swoosh it to the side.
So you guys weren't going to do loose cannon then to dress up for Halloween as? Okay.
I'll just was Omen Black.
He might dress up as C2K.
Let's say C2K is a Hall of Famer on Sportswire.
I'll dress up as James Taylor. That's all.
Oh,
there you go.
Hey, look, I'll get some blue jeans. I'll get some old dad shoes and a little ball cap, and I got it. But closing thoughts. Basically, just if you love what you do, continue to do it.
Amen.
Always don't give up, because I always say that is the moment you give up on yourself is the moment the world gives up on you. There's been times where I've said on multiple podcasts, multiple platforms, there's times where I've looked at myself and I'm like, should I continue doing this? Is this what I need to be doing? But then I look at it, it's like, it only proves every hater wrong. And again, if you ain't got haters, you ain't doing something right. Anthony Steele surely has haters. And I love it.
You do? You have them?
I love them. I embrace them. I continue to hate me. You hate me because you ain't me. And I just love it. But, if this is something you want to do, whether it's professional wrestling, singing, dancing, doing a podcast, if you want to do streaming, anything like that, start from the bottom and grow. Always start from the bottom. Don't try to. Number one thing that I've learned is don't try to think and act like you're bigger than what you are, because that's the moment that you're going to flunk so bad. I might put on the persona that I'm the real deal. I'm better than a lot of fucking people, but there's better than me. There's better than James. There's better podcasters than Tom Bryce.
Absolutely.
There's better, there's better artists. There it's a debate thing. It's always going to be a debate.
Better wrestlers than Loose Cannon. There's better
Yeah.
wrestlers than Silver
That's not a
Wolf.
debate. That's not a debate. That's a fact.
No comment. No comment. We love Silver Wolf and Loose Cannon.
Don't hype. So, but like y'all, just be you. Do what you love, because as Scott Steiner once told me, there's only one person that can be you, and that's you. Everyone can try to be you. Only you know truly who you are.
Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? There's only one James Taylor. There's only one Anthony Steele. And there's only one Scott Steiner. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, all wrestling matters. And we can't wait for next Sunday to celebrate this man who, as I said when I inducted James, is pound for pound our Shawn Michaels of the backyard. Pound for pound, love him or hate him, what this man has done in the ring or in the yard or anything else in between, nobody in his skill set can top it. Even one promoter that he worked for even said, you cannot deny the talent and the ability when Anthony Steele steps foot in that ring. And that's why we are proud to have him finally allow him to take his place in history, in the history books, in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, alongside so many famous dignitaries like James Taylor, like Omen Black, Soldier GP, like Nicholas Crenson, like Sean Jovi, like the legendary Dean Allmark, like the legendary Luke Leyland, like the legendary James Barris, like the legendary Jam Dog, like the legendary, the natural born fighter R.P. Davis or Danny Burns, and so many others that are in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, like Brandon Costelli, Chase Wakefield, Ace Christian, Mr. Judgment, Cyrus the It Factor, Chris Craven, even. We can go on and on and on. And Alan Michaels and Shane Davidson. Can't forget about those guys, because I happen to love Alan Michaels and Shane Davidson. But, ladies and gentlemen, I could go on and on and on. We save all of that for next Sunday and finally allow this man to take his place in the history books in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, also alongside a few of his former colleagues like Justin Parsley and, oh, by the way, Jackson Law. So we'll get him.
No, why?
Jackson was the 10th person inducted into the Hall of Fame, actually. Jackson got in. Justin was 3rd. Jackson was 10th. So I was going to mention.
I've never had. I've probably spoke to Parsley like once in my life.
Parsley is really one of my favorite people off the air. I have to say he is one of the most nicest people off the air. I mean, he's a phenomenal talent. Obviously he holds the tag team champions. He just beat Soldier and Omen, but just one of the most nicest people. I think DJ Walbert's another one of those guys. There's some really, really nice people in XCW. The owner sometimes, I would say that he has some interesting ideas and things he might say about the Hall of Fame, but I'm going to leave that for another time because I'm not going to certainly, I'm not going to go there, but I'm proud though that you're going to be going into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and I can't wait to have 50,000 people in the Hall of Fame. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, we were joined by Anthony Steele and James Taylor, and also Steel Nation. You're going on this page. I'm getting my merchandise this week. Cannot wait to get my Anthony Steele shirt because he is definitely damn straight the show. I can't wait to wear it on this. And I can't wait to wear all of my wrestling shirts out there because all wrestling shirts of mine matter. All wrestling that matters. And we were joined by James Taylor and Anthony Steele, where we basically went shotgun. We called James Taylor's legendary war with Phoenix back in August of 2004. But next week, Anthony goes into the Hall of Fame. We watch his war with DJ Walbert, and we get to see so many of Anthony's dearest and nearest friends, and maybe some enemies if he wants. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, and my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. Thank you so much for all of your support over the past 5 years. I'll see everybody right after Monday Night Raw tomorrow, and we'll talk about the fallout from Raw and get you on the road to WrestleMania. Thanks, everybody.